Hey, what's up, you guys? Shiz back with a pretty quick recap, I guess, relatively quick recap of some of the things we saw last night in Summer Game Fest, Day of the Devs, and Devolver Digital showcases. At least not every single thing. I'm not going to cover every single thing, but mainly the things that I'm super interested in. And so, starting off with Summer Game Fest, we had some updates onto from previous release games. One of them obviously being Alan Wake 2 DLC coming out. We did hear murmurs of it ahead of it, thanks to the Alan Wake or the Remedy Games Twitter team. So this was not fully a shock, though seeing the lead from Control definitely was a surprise. These 3 episodes are going to be quick, unrelated, I assume, to the main story in terms of like affecting things. So I'm definitely looking forward to I already got the upgrade for it. Looking forward to playing it, since I never actually got to beat Alan Wake 2 because the game kept crashing. So this does kind of give me more incentive to come back to it, though. With that, though, we also had an announcement on Season 3 of the finals. If you've been on this channel for a while, you know me and Ro just absolutely love the finals. I'm shocked that Season 3 is coming up so much quicker than the difference between Season 1 and Season 2. So I kind of wish we got to see a little bit more of what, the new stuff added in terms of the loadouts and things like that, but change of pace, change of scenery, so we'll see. We'll see if it's enough to keep us in the game, but we'll definitely at least give it a shot. But we also, again, weirdly enough, thematically, got an update to Palworld, the Sakurajima update, with new monsters, new island added. It's just funny how those two things in tone kind of fit. Again, is this enough to keep us engaged with Palworld? Maybe not. We'll see. I did have fun when I did play with Ro and Jin. So I would like to return to this, kind of get that energy back into it. But I think Palworld is potentially just a one-hit wonder. So we'll see. We'll see if these fixes are enough. But that being said, going on to some other games that we got shown off. A lot of co-op games are shown off, and I'm look, I'm super interested in either single-player experiences or co-op experiences. I'll play multiplayer games here and there, but I don't know. I'm just not super into the competitive aspect of multiplayer as maybe I once used to be. So this looks like it'll be super interesting. 8-player co-op and permadeath. So a lot of these games that I'm going to be talking about, I didn't look super in-depth into outside of these things that, surface level things that we know from the trailers and stuff like that. So, but I'm always down for anything zombie related. Like, me and Jen enjoyed, oh my god, what was it? Redfall. I loved Left 4 Dead when I was younger, so obviously, this is kind of reminiscent of that, right? Co-op, zombie killing, stuff like that. But the permadeath aspect is super interesting. Next up, Cuff Bus. Created by the person who made Choo Choo Charlie. Absolutely insane that this is a game that's created by a single individual. It looks fun, looks wacky, looks like something me, Ro, and Shinwa can get into. It kind of reminded us of trying to play Payday or something like that, but on a more ridiculous front. Blowing up a toilet and, sneaking on stuff like that. So it seems like maybe the possibilities are endless. I imagine it'll probably be limited. It might also maybe be PvE or PvP, I mean. 2 different teams trying to escape at the same time, which also could be a very interesting game mode. Other than that, what was next? Oh, yeah, Tears of Metal world premiere. Another co-op game. Right now I'm just focusing on the co-op aspect of things that we saw, but definitely these 3 games, No More Room in Hell, Cuff Bus, and Tears of Metal, you're kind of getting a varying degree of potential here with if you don't like one, maybe you like another one. So I think maybe this one is on the lower end of something that I would play. I mean, I'm into roguelikes and stuff like that, so, but in a co-op setting, maybe more like Cuff Bus and No Room in Hell too is what we're leaning towards. But Hyper Light Breaker, I am a big fan of Heart Machine. I didn't get to play Solar Ash, unfortunately, but I loved Hyper Light Drifter. I think I 100% completed it on Switch. I even have the SNES from, I think I'm 8-bit or Limited Run. It might have been Limited Run. So been waiting for that, excited that it's coming out. We got a little bit more to talk about with Heart Machine later, but next up is, what did I put? Oh my god, yes. I think we actually have, I don't know if this is this a world premiere? I could have sworn we've actually heard that name before. Maybe it was a teaser. But yeah. I absolutely love Gris. Such a beautiful game. Beautiful like platform, slightly puzzler adventure game. And this looks just like it's continuing in that beautiful fashion that they created. The music was wonderful. I have the vinyl. I can't wait for this. I absolutely cannot wait for is it Neva or Nieva? I think it might be Nieva. But anyway. Flawless, can't wait. I'm so excited. Probably gonna get it on the Switch. We heard more about, or saw more about Slitherhead, or Slitterhead. I thought it was Slitherhead, but this looks, I mean, it looks visually looks great. A little stiff in some of the movement, but so many interesting mechanics that we got to see throughout this. I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit here. The jumping from body to body, I guess it's in a way it was making me think of Parasite, the anime or manga, whatever. Obviously that's not how it works in Parasite, but just it being that whatever the thing is, I'm gonna call it a parasite, is the important character, maybe not necessarily the people that you're jumping into. But some of these mechanics, super interesting. It was reminding me of Prototype in a way. Like what the hell is that? Like you dismember yourself and like reattach and stuff like that. You can be a dog, So seems like it'll be weird, creepy fun. Another indie heartstring tugging game. It looks like a Deer and Boy. I do wonder, now that I'm looking at this at the start, I'm now noticing that it's someone holding a deer on that statue. I wonder if like the loss of his mother and the loss of his mother, if maybe they went on an adventure previously together, and we're gonna go full circle here. I don't know. I just know this is gonna be a heartbreaker. I'm ready to be devastated. So, but it looks fun. Looks beautiful. Like fun in the aspect of like enjoying a platformer kind of thing. I don't think it's gonna be fun story-wise. I think this is really gonna hurt. So, but just making this progress, with the deer, watching it grow older, and the heartbreak is coming. I know the heartbreak is gonna show up. So, okay. Well, we kind of saw a little bit of it. I put it in a weird order. I kind of put it in the order that I wanted to talk about things. Killer Bean, I think I was talking about it in the React. Visually, I feel like this meme thing is outdated. The Killer Bean, but this looks like this is so insane. The way that this plays, the dunk, the ricocheting the bullet, reminds me of course Max Payne. I don't know how you can look at something like this and not think like the bullet time dodging action is just an homage to Max Payne. But even something as simple as like comparatively, My Friend Pedro, absolutely loved it. 2D platformer, so this is more reminiscent of Max Payne with its bullet time dodging and stuff like that. But the ricocheting with my friend Pedro was so fun, so ridiculous. I had such a good time playing that. Another one, of course, looking forward to is Wander. Oh my God, Wander Stop. I apologize. I was gonna say Wanderlust, just because because I feel like we don't know what's actually happening here. It obviously had that air of like, okay, first of all, you're going into this knowing that the team behind Stanley Parable made this, like, so like, oh, okay, we're doing the farming simulator, like, slice of life thing, but are we? Like, she starts the story talking about, I want to be a fighter, but you know, I deserve peace. But like, no, I'm wondering if there's like a day and night kind of shift, you know, like daytime she runs this tea shop, but then at night she's out there fighting. So that could be a nice, you know, way to work that around. Kind of reminds me of what is it, Boyfriend Dungeon or whatever, right? Where you get like the weapons, the boyfriend has weapons or something. Anyway, another big thing, we've known about this for a while, but it's great seeing the slate of games that they're gonna come out with. Blumhouse dipping their toes into game development or game publishing. I apologize, game publishing. Let's be clear with that. Their style of publishing movies is like, you know, buying these movies on the cheap, or like, you know, producing cheap movies and then making massive money on the back end. Horror is on the come up this year, I think, both in gaming and in film. I think this is a very strong year for horror movies. Immaculate was wonderful. I loved it. I'm looking forward to Longlegs. Oh my god, I'm blanking. Coco and Alien Romulus. Just like, you know, those just quick coming to theaters this summer. You know, shout out to Neon. They got 3 of the 4 movies that I'm looking forward to. But yeah, Blumhouse movies always great for the most part. And so I'm excited that they are backing these independent games, and we're gonna see one in the next thing. But for now, you know, just that quick little sizzle reel. Fantastic. I can't wait. And for me, honestly, the biggest thing to come out of Summer Game Fest, specifically the Summer Game Fest portion, is the Outer Sloth funding thing. That, like, I think, you know, I talked about it multiple times. I was devastated when, like, all these studios that indie studios that I enjoyed, absolutely love their games, you know, Eggnut with Backbone, they no longer exist. They shut down this year. And the Gutta Fabrik shut down this year. They created Mutazone and oh my god, Sea Salt Chronicles. So all these games that I just absolutely loved and enjoyed, and those studios are just coming to an end. And it doesn't just stop there for indies. Obviously, massive layouts in the, you know, AAA front. Microsoft absolutely getting it up this year. An embarrassment that they would buy all these studios just to fire all these people. It's such a shame. Gaming is in a very weird and turbulent era right now. Probably for the first time in a long time, but as always, you know, it will overcome it like it always does. But yeah, it doesn't feel good right now. And so for them to come out with this and help back more people to tell their stories, create the games that they want to create, I think that's a beautiful thing. I know for the most part people are hooked on, like, you know, they get hang-ups about the AAA titles, and that's what they're super interested in, and I think we need to give more love to indie games. I can't stress that enough, you know. So yeah, moving on from that was the Day of the Devs. I absolutely was blown away by Day of the Devs. I am like pretty much every time they do a Day of the Devs. Now a lot of these games were already previously shown off, but I, you know, either I've forgotten them, or, you know, I just wasn't super aware of them. When I was looking and putting these things together, like this little playlist together of background videos, I noticed that, like, a lot of any teasers or official trailers that were dropped before this had, like, no views. Like, relatively, not like I'm one to talk. I know. like, you know, 900 versus thousands of views. 900 is great, right? But the level that they're now getting because they were a part of this is well deserved. But yeah, bouncing back to Blumhouse games, we got to see more of Fear the Spotlight. Kind of like that classic in a like a gameplay sense of, like, you know, something like Silent Hill, while still doing that. Like I said in the actual React, the modern retro thing of all horrors kind of doing that VHS low poly like 80s look. So it's great seeing this. It seems a little bit more like fine tuned and stuff like that. But still, those type of games are killing it right now over on Steam and stuff like that. It's a great way for like indie developers, like first time developers, to just like dip their toe into creating something. Another another shocking surprise, seeing that first image of Karma right here. I love horror games. I'm such a coward. If you've been with Broth City for a while, you know we do a thing called Brothtober, where I try to play a whole bunch of horror games. We got the Boo command up on screen. So like this whole little segment that we're looking at right here are definitely competing to pop in for Brothtober this year. I would be super excited to play any of these. This just looks so insane. I feel like I haven't played like a psychological horror in such a long time. Like I think off the top of my head, Soma absolutely was one of the best. So I'm looking forward to definitely checking out Karma. Another one, Zoocosis. This one was definitely a surprise. This is one though is the not what we saw at Day of the Devs. This is their actual trailer. It just strange body horror with animals. I guess it's kind of like a survive the night kind of thing. So we're getting more into that aspect of horror gameplay. But interesting thing that to note of the multiple endings. I wonder how vast it really does get. But they did seem like to make it. They made it seem that there are quite a few options. Like this isn't just like a short one and done kind of thing. So who knows? We'll see how many endings we get. A lot of poop in this one. But now another one, not necessarily horror, but absolutely in my wheelhouse. Psychoroma. Now, when we were doing the React, we were talking about how like it off the rip, it kind of reminded us of Backbone. Sorry, I just mentioned it earlier. But yeah, I'm absolutely down for the story that they're trying to tell. I think it is personal in the aspect of it being like non-binary and biracial and like trying to fit into that world, and then how do you also apply that to a cyberpunk setting? Like cyberpunk can get so strange and dystopian, and so I can only imagine how heartbreaking and confusing this story might get. So I'm really looking forward to it. Next up was UFO 50. This I'm totally looking forward to this. Like, yes, there is a co-op and multiplayer component to it, but even from a solo aspect, like just being able to play the 50 games. I imagine there's like 51 games because they were saying as a whole there's a story behind UFO 50. So okay, my bad. I stepped out real quick to link up with Jan, so I apologize. I don't really remember where I left off with UFO 50, but yeah, just excited to get a chance to play this. 50 games, some short, some long, with some characters carrying over. I think that's a super interesting aspect. Getting like sequels to games within a game is incredible. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking this out when it comes out. Another one, Screenbound. So this is one that I've been loosely following on Twitter because I saw this initial concept of like 2D, 3D platforming, and I was blown the hell away. Like, what do you mean I'm playing on a Game Boy while also navigating? I think the trailer that they showed during Day of the Devs was actually like super informative and made it like way easy to understand how this works. But it is still super impressive of like what you're seeing is like the level editor that you're navigating through, and then it's just rendering that into reality. So I think that's super interesting. Could be a lot of fun. We also saw like an SP, so I wonder if we'll see like a Game Boy Advance or anything like that. Another one that I'm like kind of interested in, Tom the Post Girl, as me and Ro figured out halfway through the React. Her name is Tom because she's a peeping Tom. But it just seems it's going to be super weird. I love the art style. Very French, which is totally cool. But yeah, murder mysteries, I guess, going on. Strange neighbors, and just figuring out, I guess, how to navigate this world this time. So, super interested in this. It's like, I think it'll be a good time, a strange good time. And next up is While Waiting, another one where I can't remember the name of the game, or if it's even related at all in terms of like who created it. I know it might have even been, I don't think it was a Japanese game. I think I'm also thinking of two completely different games, but a game where I believe you're playing as like a baby, and you're not supposed to you're supposed to do whatever your mom says or something like that. You're not supposed to do anything. So it kind of reminds me of that. Like, you're just waiting and either following the rules or breaking them. It's up to you. So looks like it could be quick, cool, fun. Another strange thing. Again, I off the top of my head, I was kind of comparing it a little bit to Katamari in terms of its style and its whimsy. Building relationships looks like, I mean, first of all, the pun is incredible. Absolutely love it. You know, if you've been here for a while, you know I'm a sucker for puns. So, but yeah, it seems like it's gonna be strange, and just hilarious all around. So excited for that. Tides of Tomorrow surprised me with the reveal at the end and I'm still not 100% sure on this, because like I said earlier, what I'm talking about with these games are just like the things we mainly saw in these showcases, so maybe I misunderstood what I saw here, but you can affect other people's playstyles, like stories or stuff like that. Like, anything you do, someone can either copy or, go a different route. So I think that's super freaking interesting. Like, that blows me away. Now we're gonna get into the section of games that I'm really absolutely sold on. So yeah, Phoenix Springs has been shown off before, but I've not really seen it until now. Art style blows me away. I love the painterly look to it, the heavy contrasts with the shadows and stuff like that. I think they're absolutely killing it. In terms of the way that the game plays, a point and click kind of adventure, mystery adventure, I'm all in on that. It's been a while since I've done a point and click kind of mystery, so I'm super excited for Phoenix Springs. And now another one that I'm super excited for, and I do deeply apologize for in the react, I could not hear the L, so I was confused what was being said, but Petal Runner. Another one where I love games like Eastward. I'll go on any 8-bit adventure, whether or not it has a monster capture component to it, and this seems like it does. With generating the pets, the Hana pets. You're doing deliveries. You're living through life. Trying to figure things out. I think this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. I'm just super excited to delve into this. So many of these games are just reminiscent and almost homage to these genres that I grew up on. So I just can't wait for more. Oh, I didn't even realize the Akira slide at the end. But for me, the biggest game out of Day of the Devs is the return of Afterlove EP. The game itself is a story about loss and tragedy. Guy whose girlfriend passes away, and then hearing her voice kind of sparks this whole journey of love and just bonding in this world that he lives in, based on Jakarta. The tragic story is that let me loop this one. So along with that, the tragic story behind Afterlove EP is that Fami, the original creator of Afterlove, passed away in March 2022. This game was originally supposed to release summer of 2022. This was actually shown off for the first time back in a Nintendo Direct back in 2021, I believe. I'm not sure if it was a Direct specifically or not, but I wasn't aware of this game at the time because I don't even think I was really watching Directs like that again. I think I had missed it back then. So finding that out, God, it's already if you remove that aspect of it, this is a game that I am 100% bought into just because of the gameplay alone. It reminds me of something like Night in the Woods. It reminds me of something like Mitsuzone. Those are the type of games that I truly love. Just a slice of life, navigating everyday life in a town where you as the player get to grow and learn and love the characters all around you, maybe hate them, with like little mini game aspects here and there, right? Like the music component seems to be a major part of it. I mean, it is called Afterlove EP, but even with with all that, I'm sold on the game already, and now just having that emotional component of someone, had the love to create something for the city they love, and then tragically losing that life, then having friends that love that person enough to want to continue their story, finish their dream project. I think that's insanely beautiful. Sorry if I'm getting a little, emotional talking about it, but it's inspiring, it's passionate, and I absolutely cannot wait to play Afterlove EP when it comes out. So this is my favorite of Day of the Devs, but I think overall Day of the Devs was an absolutely strong showing. I'm excited for a lot of these games, and I hope you are too. But we are nearing the end of the things that I was excited about with regards to the day. We do have Devolver Digital showing off Angerfoot, which has been shown off for a while, but again, first time I've seen Angerfoot. I think it's a very interesting aspect to have the shoes have these different attributes and stuff like that. I think that's fun, and overall the action looks great. It looks fantastic. The overall Devolver didn't really show too many games, but they usually don't. So I mean, we got to see 6 games, and I think still shout out to Devolver. They do a fantastic job publishing things. So I'm excited for Angerfoot. And the last one, which for me personally is probably the biggest announcement of the day, is that Heart Machine doesn't just have Hyper Light Breaker coming out. They have a new game called Possessors. Artistically, I am in love with this. I love the style, the movement. It's fluid. It's fast-paced. Graphically, it's doing things differently than what it does with what they've done with other things like Solar and Hyperlight. Although you still see that design philosophy in this still, but we don't know much about this yet. And I knew it was gonna be a 2025 release. I don't care. I am so excited for this. I can't wait. I can't wait. This blew me away. This was such a nice surprise. And again, it wasn't a AAA title that surprised me. It was more and more indie games. That's not to knock AAA titles. We've talked about it so many times of we're in a tough spot right now, and these big studios are almost stuck in a hold, right? Where they have to spend all this time and money working on these big, massive games, and then people just beat them in a day or something like that. Like the longevity isn't there for the amount of time that's invested into a project, and I think the unfortunate thing is that indie games don't get the shine and the spotlight that they truly deserve. So I'm appreciative of Devolver Digital's Direct. I'm appreciative of things like Day of the Dev, and even this Summer Games Fest had a lot of indie games. So overall, there are so many titles that I'm super interested in that I really want to keep up with. I feel like I do a very bad job of keeping up with things. I watch these things, I'm super excited to see them, and then I just forget. So I'm gonna do my part and wish list the out of everything so that I remember and do a better job. But so many things to look forward to. Absolutely so many things to look forward to. So if you do watch this, first of all, thank you for watching. I hope you're having great weekend so far. Let me know what games you are excited for. If there's anything on this list that I didn't mention that you're like, you know what, I think you might like this. I think you should reconsider. You know, da 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 da. Like, me not mentioning something, just to be clear, like, doesn't mean I didn't like it. These are just the things that I was the most excited for, or like that I felt like talking about. Like, there are some games on here that I'm like, you know, like I'll keep up with it, that I really like. But there are games without a doubt that I'm like, no, I'm fully invested. Like Pedal Runner, Afterlove EP, not even a question. Phoenix Springs, Possessors, those are like the definites that I'm like 1000% I'm there. Release date. Like I don't care, I'm there. But even beyond those four, there are no, like, I'm looking at this list right now. I'm like, I want to get so many of these. So hopefully they're spaced out a little bit better. You know, I know a lot of these are coming out September, October, so we'll see. But I think even if the AAAs and the big studios aren't having the best year ever in terms of releases, I think it's just another fantastic year for indie games, despite how bad it is financially, like with, you know, closures and stuff like that. Like, I'm talking in terms of releases. I think, you know, indie studios and developers are still putting out incredible, immaculate work, and they deserve all the love and attention, just as any other studios, you know. So, yeah, that's my spiel. If you watched, thank you for watching. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you loved it, hit that subscribe button. If you just can't get enough, come over to twitch.tv/ProSunday, where we should be live. But until then, peace.